Okay, it's time to create some node magic. This representation with this inside right here that's glowing, popping it up like this, is really this. Pressing 5 key on the keyboard. So it's very simple geometry and everything else is created using an alpha. But if you're rendering with Arnold, alphas aren't that straightforward. If you're using Blinn, Lambert's, going to video game engines, it's usually an alpha PNG just works out. Not when rendering for Arnold, and there are some applications where it doesn't work. So this technique of masking and reversing mask is excellent to know, because if you ever get yourself into a jam, you'll know your way out. Why do you want to do this? Because you want this geometry look a lot more complex, and it'll render quicker. You have a lot more control over it, and why carve holes into a box when you could just cut it visually? So the alpha mask, and thank you to Michelle for this little assignment, is right here with the painted artwork and the alpha and holes knocked through. I'm going to reassign this PNG, and you can see like first shot it's not going to work, but it's okay. I'm going to show you some excellent techniques, very simple techniques that will get you to having this off on the right side happen. So I'm going to right click, assign new material. And that new material is going to be an Arnold AI surface shader right there. And you can see now the box is just this plain box. And to the color section, right off to here, I'm going to wire in that PNG file. Selecting File, selecting the File folder icon. And from this directory, I place the Milk Crate 2. With the alpha, knock through it, clicking on open, and there's our box, but we can't see through it quite yet. We'll be able to do that in a few simple steps. I'm going to open up the Hypershade, and what the Hypershade allows you to do is rewire your network. And all we want to do is cut a mask here without making a new file. And that's the important thing, because if we're going to a game engine, why do we need extra files for rendering out? Why do we need extra files? We can use the same file to make holes in things. Because even though there's an alpha right here, and that's respected in other applications like Photoshop and Unity, Unreal, sometimes you're working with particular file formats, it's not going to work out, you need a mask. And so this technique, in a simpler way, will work almost anywhere. Going to Windows, Rendering Editors, Hypershade. This is where you make your map material magic. I'm going to give my standard surface a name. I'm calling it number 4. This way I can identify it in the Hypershade. There's Crate 4. Clicking here, go right click and select Graph Network. There's not much is going on in this network yet. And use the wheelie mouse to zoom in and zoom out, Option or Alt key, middle mouse button to pan. So the story of this is we have our standard surface shader. The base color is connected to the output color of our texture map right there. And this is the placement of the 2D texture. So to start to see through things, we need to use another property of the shader. Scrolling on down to transmission. So the transmission weight will be what we're going to be using. Clicking on this icon right there, go wire in that same PNG file. So File, clicking on this, selecting the Milk Crate 2 PNG, and clicking on Open. And when you look at your file, it's like, oh, what the heck happened? Interesting effect, right? Kind of looks like an ice cube piece of frosted glass. First, we're going to turn down the roughness on this. So selecting this material again, and under Speckler right here, I want to leave this open so you can see the effect. If you increase the roughness for Speckler, it becomes even more like frosted glass. Remember this technique because that kind of could look awesome for the right scene. For us, we don't want that. We want things crisp and clear to see through. That's much better. Even though it doesn't look better because now this red sphere has a mustache, we'll get rid of that. This represents where a hole should be. everywhere where you see black. To get this to happen, we have to reverse a mask, reconnect it. Sounds a little more complex than it really is. You can do this in just 2 or 3 simple steps. Going here, the base color is wired to this milk crate file. And these are the same files. If we wanted to, we could reuse the files. I'm not going to get into that now. Why would you reuse a file? This way, if you change it in one place, it changes everywhere in case we have to switch out this texture map. Again, thank you, Michelle, for this wonderful texture map. What we need to do is reverse this alpha. That's what's going on. And if we could do that, then our color will reappear and the holes will be in the proper place. Press the Tab key in the hypershade. This brings up the hot search box and type in the word reverse because I want to reverse what's going on here. Okay, what will the input be? Going to expand this plus sign for input. The input will be the alpha just 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. And what that gets you is this black and white mask, but it's reverse. See, it's black here, and now it's white here, and everywhere it's black was white in the original one. That's only because this is the way Arnold is set up to make holes. So anything that is black is solid. Anything that's white, you can see through. All right, we're almost there. So we have this. Our current alpha is wrong. So I'm going to just select that wire and press delete. I'm going to just expand the output. And I don't need more than one of these and take the wire and connect it to the transmission. And that's all it took. It doesn't matter which one was connected, because they all are now the same black and white image when they get transformed. So what was wrong? The original one had the alpha going straight in, and you get this. But after reversing the alpha, reversing the colors, we can then expand and take any of those and connect it right there. And now we have holes in our box. Who doesn't want a low polygon looking much more complex thanks to alpha? So you can use this technique for many low objects in your scene, windows, doors, whatever you need to carve a hole, but yet you still want to keep your geometry low and flexible. Again, low polygons, render quicker, easier to process in a game engine, and gives you a lot more flexibility because to change the look of this, all you need is a new piece of art. And this technique can be applied to other areas of your creations.